What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer, and I apologize if I'm a little more melancholy than I usually am to start the show, but wow, I am in a little bit of a sour mood right now thanks to the Utah Hockey Club's 5-4 shootout loss to the Anaheim Ducks. 5-4, that's a very unlucky score for the Utah Hockey Club this season. I'll jump into why. But again, thank you for joining me here on SLC Puck. You're goofy, you're fun, typically, your good time. Utah Hockey Club podcast. We'll still find a way to have some fun right now. We're recording this episode shortly after the game on Sunday. You might be finding us on Monday on KSL.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. You can follow the show as well on social media if you'd like. And if you really want to be a cool guy, especially with the holidays right around, you're not going to get it by Christmas at this point, so let's not pretend like you will. But a late little belated Christmas gift might be some SLC Puck merch. So go ahead and check that out, slcpuck.shop. Lots of great stuff there. All the stuff is pretty much priced at cost, so that'll give you the opportunity to make a donation to the show if you'd like. And good tithings, good cheer to those of you who do. And to those of you who don't, we still love you anyway. But welcome back. Again, like I said, I'm a little bit of a bummer, and I'll go into why, because I think this sort of falls in line with some other shortcomings that we've seen from the Utah Hockey Club this season. I think the Utah Hockey Club's left a lot of big points on the table, and I'm nervous that it's going to make a big impact on their playoff implications. So I need a little jolt of energy. I'm going to ask my good friend Chris Grenier to help me out. He's got run through a wall smelling salts right here. Let's crack one right now. All right, we're ready. We're going. We're going. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Woo! All righty. So yeah, 5-4 shootout loss by the Utah Hockey Club to the Anaheim Ducks tonight. A little matinee mayhem for the Utah Hockey Club. This one stings a lot because a lot like a lot of the other Utah Hockey Club defeats, they blew it. I think that's the only kind way to put it. This was a blown opportunity by the Utah Hockey Club today. They still get the point with the overtime loss, but this to me feels a lot like a point, not a point gained, but more of a point lost is how I'd say it. But yeah, 5-4 ended up being the final score. Utah led this game 4-1 at one point, which kind of gives me shades of the San Jose game back on October 28th, which was also a 5-4 overtime loss. I'll tell you why 5-4 is a bad number for the Utah Hockey Club, and it'll kind of go over a lot of the points that have been left on the table here. So on October 16th, they lost in overtime 5-4 to the Anaheim Ducks in Southern California, a game I was at. Rats, dang it, that one bit. And then, as I said, a couple of weeks after that, on the 28th, they lost to San Jose 5-4 in overtime as well. Blew a 4-1 lead in that game. And then other crushing blows that I think the Utah Hockey Club has suffered this year include the November 9th loss at Nashville, which was a 4-0 defeat. Nashville obviously made a lot of, if you follow the NHL, they made a lot of big splashes in the offseason, but they've been the biggest disappointment in hockey. So a loss to Nashville sort of looks like a loss to one of the worst teams in the NHL right now, which stings quite a bit. Another blown opportunity by the Utah Hockey Club is the December 10th loss, overtime loss. So they did get 1 point, but again, left a point on the table, losing to Minnesota in a shootout as well. I believe they allowed a goal in the last minute of regulation in that one. And then tonight's loss, 5-4 to Anaheim. Again, all these 5-4 overtime losses, not good. Not good, Bob, as I think they say in Mad Men. But this one really stings in particular because it almost sort of, in a way, feels like the Utah Hockey Club might have been looking past Anaheim, particularly when they had a 4-1 lead. Even a little bit in the preparation, I think they saw this as one of their more winnable games, which, to be fair, they should think that. Anaheim is near the bottom of the standings in the National Hockey League right now in the Western Conference. But, they rolled out Jackson Stauber as the goaltender, gave Karel Vejmelka the night off. That was probably the right call, ultimately, because Vejmelka has been a workhorse lately, and Stauber has played well. He won his other two appearances for the Utah Hockey Club. Obviously, he pitched the first ever shutout in team history against Vegas. And then I believe his second win was against, in his most recent appearance was on December 8th against Philly. Allowed 2 goals, made 22 saves, and a 4-2 victory for the Utah Hockey Club. But again, the 5-4 lead, and Utah just kind of melted down in the third period. What ended up being the most crucial point of the game was a penalty by Logan Cooley with about 5 minutes to go. Pretty unnecessary slashing penalty. He hit an Anaheim skater in the back of the shin, sent him down with a slash, and went to the penalty box. Anaheim ended up scoring the power play, a goal by Brett Leeson to tie the game up with less than 5 minutes to go. And Cooley, I saw this on Twitter. I didn't notice this during the game, but I believe other people did. He didn't set foot on the ice again after that penalty. So I think Coach Cherney was trying to send him a little bit of a message there. But anyway, the scoreless in overtime, and then Utah ends up losing in the shootout. Schmaltz misses. Troy Terry misses as well for Anaheim. Keller makes a nice move, gets a backhand, but hits the crossbar. The goal horn went off, for crying out loud. We thought Keller had scored, found the back of the net again. He had 2 goals in the game, but that one ultimately hit the crossbar. No good. Brock McGinn, his shot is saved by Stauber. Nick Bugstad saved by Lucas Dostal, who's been one of the best goalies in the NHL, even though Anaheim's a really bad team. And then Mason McTavish scores to give Anaheim the win there in the shootout. So real bummer there for the Utah Hockey Club. But life goes on. They've got a huge game tomorrow against Dallas at home. So that one's probably doubly or triply important because Dallas is a Central Division opponent. You don't want to give up points to those guys, particularly when you are on the precipice of a playoff race. And again, still more than 40 games to go, but these are going to get really crucial. And it's so tragic to consider that the Utah Hockey Club has lost some big points. I listed 5 games, including tonight, that have been really hard to swallow, I think. So the first loss to just to go over them again. The first loss to Anaheim back in October, left a point on the board there. And then the San Jose game in October as well, left another point. So that's 2 points. So keep counting with me, okay? So 2 points. The Nashville loss, that's 4 points they lost. December 10th, a shootout loss to Minnesota. That's 5 points now that they lost. And then tonight, the shootout loss makes it 6 points, right? So this is why this is such a bummer right now. Let's go to the standings. And again, I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be the fun, silly, feel lighthearted Utah Hockey Club podcast, and we'll get to that in just a second. But this is also the honest podcast. That's what I really pride myself on. So let's hop into the standings here, looking where we are. So Utah, again, kind of on the bubble right now in the playoff race. Here's the wild card standings. 38 points puts them a point behind the Flames and the Canucks, tied with the Stars right now. The Stars have played one last game, though. But think about this. So Utah Hockey Club has 38 points in the standings. They get those 6 points back and then minus 1 point for Minnesota. Utah Hockey Club's points or standings elevate to 44 points on the season. Minnesota goes down to 43. That would put Utah in second place in the Central Divisions. And then that would be really exciting because that's when playoffs seem like a real possibility. But again, losing those 6 points puts Utah on the precipice. And these points become really, really important. And I'll show you why here. So this is the current standings right now in the NHL. And this might be hard to follow on Apple or Spotify, so just try to stick with me and switch over to YouTube if you feel that'd be easier. But let's look at last year's standings in the NHL. So 6 points. That's kind of a wide chasm there. You see here the distance between the last wild card spot last year in the Western Conference, the Vegas Golden Knights, and then the first team eliminated, the St. Louis Blues, 6 points. Oh man, I'm sure St. Louis could find 6 points from that season. They'd love to get back. And then in the Eastern Conference, it was even tighter. So Washington won a tiebreaker with Detroit to get in with 91 points. So 1 more point for the Red Wings. They would have been in the Eastern Conference playoffs last year. And then like the year before, I believe there was another tight race as well. Yeah, Florida gets the last spot in the wild card with a 1 point edge over the Penguins. And then in the Western Conference, the Jets grab that last spot with a 2 point edge over the Flames. So these points become really crucial, especially towards the end of the year. And man, it's going to be, I truly hope we're not going to be filled with regret and chagrin at the end of the year at the points lost and potentially the opportunity lost. But that's why every game is so important in the National Hockey League. And the game against Dallas is super important as well. I mean, jumping back into this year's standings, I believe Dallas right now is on the bubble, as it were. So, yep, they're tied with Utah right now for that spot outside of the wild card. But, yeah, again, they played one less game than the Clubbers, than the Utah Hockey Club. So, yeah, it's really important for Utah to get back to winning ways, to focus, to go home, you know, do whatever they've got to do to get refocused, re-energized. Maybe watch Elf or Christmas Vacation just to get them back in good spirits, or A Christmas Story, or any one of the delightful Christmas family comedies that we all know and love. I think that's the recipe for success right now. If I'm Coach Andre Tourney in the locker room right now, I'm saying, guys, I'm the doctor, and my prescription is 1 dose of Will Ferrell dressed as an elf and running through New York City. You go home and watch the movie Elf, boys, and get ready to play Dallas tomorrow. And that's what I hope the fellas do. That's what I really hope they do. Right now, let's roll out a new feature on SLC Puck the podcast. Oh, and I should add, shout out to Clayton Keller, who scored 4 points in tonight's game. I believe that's the first 4-point game in Utah Hockey Club history. 2 goals, 2 assists. So 1 more goal. You couldn't have gotten 1 more goal, Keller. You couldn't have gotten that hat trick. That hat trick would have won the game, man. Come on. What do you know? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's going to be really interesting tomorrow to see how Keller responds, how Logan Cooley responds, and how the Utah Hockey Club responds as a whole. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that they can get the job done against Dallas. So they played Dallas pretty tough earlier in the year. I believe they'd lost just 2-1 in a game which Dallas's goaltender looked like he was all world. Casey DeSmith, I believe. Who's the backup? Anyway, lots of information there. Sorry, gosh, you know, I wish I could have brought the same energy. You know, it's just these losses get to me. They really do. But what's going to really perk me up is getting involved with you guys as an SLC Puck community. You probably see here in the corner, I've got the number for the SLC Puck hotline. You guys are always welcome to call, give your hot takes after a game, during a game, when you're driving to work. Maybe this is something you think about. You know, you have a thought in the shower in the morning. Think, I want to know what Austin has to say about this. Call in. The number is 919-666-PUCK. I believe that's 7825. Again, number is 919-666-7825. And you might get played and responded to on the show, much like this gentleman is. So he had a really great question about a member of the Utah Hockey Club, and let's play it right now. And then I did some research on this, and I'll tell you my findings and my take on this right now. So let's hit the hotlines.
Hey, Austin, it's your guy, Jeff Johnson here. Hey, just wanted to ask you a little question here. What's your take on our guy, Spicy Tuna? Kind of Liam O'Brien. It's kind of an interesting situation. I don't know how you feel about it. But the guy was signed to a kind of a good contract for him to be essentially a perpetual healthy scratch.
Oop. Continuing. Sorry, my phone timed out there.
I have no problem with it. The guys already have a hard enough time staying out of the box as it is, and we know what kind of presence he brings and the rough style play he has, and just the team just all plays better without him. But it's kind of interesting, you know, seeing the Spicy Tuna custom-made shirts and, you know, all these people who love the guy, and the guy doesn't play. I know he's got a different role, but just wondering, is that like a common thing? Have you ever seen that before? Just interesting, but anyway, just thought you might want to answer that for us all in the SLC Puck world. Thanks for all you do, bud. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, big thanks to Jeff for calling. First of all, thanks for hitting the hotline up, Jeff. So his question was, is Liam O'Brien's situation like unique or common in the NHL? And what's your take on it? Is it good or bad? I think that's kind of the crux of Jeff's question. And I got to tell you, here's my take on Liam O'Brien, okay? I feel like the Utah Hockey Club arriving here in Salt Lake City was it was a big windfall for a lot of people. It was a big stroke of luck for many of us in the hockey community. I feel like that myself. I think you could argue, like, on a financial level, like individually, maybe other than Ryan Smith, no one has benefited more from this than Liam O'Brien, because his involvement on the team is very it is sort of noteworthy, I think. As far as it being unique, I had a hard time finding information on that, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But to those of you who I see this question asked in the Utah Hockey Club Facebook groups a lot, they're like, what's the deal with Liam O'Brien? It seems like he hardly plays. You're right. He does hardly play. He's only been active in 3 games this year. His last appearance, oh, great, we're going to talk about this again, was the October 28th loss to San Jose. He has not played since. I think some games he's been ruled inactive due to injury, and that's sometimes kept very vague. But I think for the most part, he's been listed as a healthy scratch. Now, what is a healthy scratch? If you're new to hockey, that term might seem odd, so let me just explain it really quick. So basically, a hockey club can carry an NHL franchise, an NHL club, like the Utah Hockey Club, can carry an active roster of like 23 guys. However, when it comes time to suit up and play, they can only dress 20. So then this is something we see also in the NFL. You know, they have a roster surplus, and then they list inactives before each game because there's a limit of players that you can dress for each game. Hockey, the number's 20. So that means 3 guys on the active roster of 23 have to sit, regardless if they're healthy or not. If they're healthy, it's called a healthy scratch. And those guys sit out. They don't get in uniform. They usually just hang out in the press box. And that is what a healthy scratch is. That's usually done for like strategic reasons. They might swap guys in and out depending on who they're facing in a given night, or just whatever gives the team the best chance to win on that given night. And for the most part, I think the Utah Hockey Club just feels like they have a better chance of winning if Liam O'Brien is not among the active forwards. I think it probably hurts him quite a bit that he doesn't play defense. If he played defense, he would probably be activated a lot more often, but the fact that he plays offense and the fact that his scratches really started to come at a time when Utah's offense like had dried up a lot, I think that really affected his ability to find the ice again. As far as like whether that kind of thing is like super pervasive in the NHL, I don't really know, because I tried to look up, you know, who has the most healthy scratches in the NHL just to see where O'Brien ranked, to see if there were other kind of peers in that group. And for whatever reason, the NHL does not keep track of like total number of healthy scratches for each individual player. I couldn't find that listed anywhere. Other people have had that question in hockey forums and subreddits and all that. They just don't track that, and I think that's kind of interesting. I don't really know why, but I think O'Brien again got really, really fortunate. We all remember this little beauty from April, right? That right there, that line earned Liam O'Brien a 3-year, $3 million contract. I think he just arrived in Salt Lake at a time where, you know, Ryan Smith and the brass were really excited, really looking to the future, looking to build a narrative around this team, looking to gather the characters to tell the story of the Utah Hockey Club. And Liam O'Brien definitely stole the show on at the NHL welcome party. So that was, I think that's a huge reason why. I mean, I think it was very quickly realized that O'Brien, and I think it helps a lot that he has like a nickname that I think like teenage boys and girls find to be like kind of funny, you know, Spicy Tuna. I bet they've sold plenty of O'Brien jerseys and t-shirts and stuff in the team shop. I think that's why. His agent also probably did a really, really phenomenal job of pitching his value to the Utah Hockey Club. And again, he was probably signed at a time where like it seemed like, you know, it was very possible that he was going to be a little bit more of a contributor to this team. He played in 75 games last year for the Arizona Coyotes. So I think O'Brien just, I'm sure he would love to get out there, get playing, be competitive. Why he's not in the AHL, I think the AHL is more of a developmental league. They already have a lot of guys down there that they're trying to bring up Kyler Yamamoto's one. Josh Doan's another. There's quite a few other prospects in the pipeline at the AHL level. Liam O'Brien's 30 years old, so his development is probably done. He probably is who he is at this point, and that saddens me as a 32-year-old. I don't want to feel like I'm done developing. I think I want to learn and grow every day, and that's what I try to do with SLC Puck, and that's why we implement new technologies like the SLC Puck hotline. So big thanks to Jeff for his question. I hope I answered it adequately. Again, my comment that's what's happening with O'Brien. For the best I can tell. As for whether or not it's unique across the NHL, I couldn't figure that out. So anyway, I appreciate that Jeff. You guys are always welcome to call SLC Puck hotline, and we'll have fun. We'll answer some more questions. I'll do the best I can, as I always try to do, as I'm sure the Utah Hockey Club tried to do as well. Hey, we're gonna move past this loss, everybody. I know it stings. I know it hurts to think about, but we're gonna get past it. We always do. The night is always darkest before the dawn, as Harvey Dent said in that movie, The Dark Knight. I believe that guy's went to BYU, the guy who played Harvey Dent, by the way. It's kind of interesting. But let's end with a little bit of fun. There was a truly delightful video on Utah Hockey Club's YouTube page. I'm going to play it and react to it. It was a lot of fun. It's something that's been talked about a little bit. If you watch Utah Hockey Club games, if you listen to my good friends at the Clean Hits podcast, they had Michael Kesselring on, and he talked about this a little bit. What I'm referring to is the experience, what really should be a sitcom. Like, this makes for a great YouTube video, but the living arrangement that Dylan Guenther and Jack McBain have, the two of those guys together, that would be a phenomenal reality television show, just something that follows those guys. And so here on the Utah Hockey Club's YouTube page, I recommend checking this out in a way that, you can watch it without listening to my commentary. It's very funny. Here's a crib tour of Guenther and McBain's home. I have no idea where it is. It's somewhere in the Salt Lake Valley, but it's a truly hilarious video. And it's been, again, the fact that these guys are roommates has been talked about quite a bit, but to see it in person, I think is really funny and quite charming. So let's just hit play on this.
What's up, guys? I'm Dylan.
I'm Jack.
And welcome to the crib. Festive.
Hold on. My first comment on this is I need to know when this was filmed, because I can see Jack McBain is clean shaven in this. And in tonight's game against Anaheim, he had the darkest, thickest mustache I've ever seen. And it was really kind of hilarious. So I'm wondering when this was filmed. My sister and I commented on this. It's like, wow, he's got a really nice mustache. And I can see in this video he doesn't have that mustache. So I gotta know when this was filmed. But anyway,
around the corner, so we went to Costco and
look at this.
Grabbed this baby and put her up yesterday. So I think it looks pretty good. I think we did a good job for two guys, maybe interior design on the side. I don't know.
I agree. You did do a good job.
Presents there too. We thought that looked good.
Yeah. So
apparently those are fake presents.
I mean, first thing here, we got the putting mat. Can't do a whole lot of putting in the cold in Utah, so it's a nice touch, I think.
Really nice touch. Good job, Dylan.
This is probably the most used feature of the house.
Karaoke night.
And, state-of-the-art karaoke machine right here.
Comes out sometimes, not often, but you'd hate to need something and not have it. So we got both. So sometimes if you want
amazing.
To be a rock star, you can pick your shades that you want from the shades jar. These ones are like
I'll say this about these guys. They're in their early 20s. They're pretty clean. The house is pretty clean, and they're like weirdly very organized. That's chill, Dylan. That's way chill.
Yeah, and then we got.
This is very charming and sweet.
I like that top guy though. I think he's probably my favorite.
I like Big Haas in the corner.
And if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, go to YouTube and go to the Utah Hockey Club YouTube channel to see this. This is truly incredible.
Yeah, this guy's actually good. We picked this guy up.
I think they furnished their entire house at Costco too, which I definitely respect.
Different modes on him. We think he's outdoor.
But yeah, he got the little Christmas jingle for us.
He gets the songs going. This is the kitchen. You know, this is actually getting a lot more use than we thought. We've gotten better. We like to cook usually the night before a game or whatever.
It's
We were
so
on the road,
clean.
so there's not too much. You know, most of it's probably gone bad. I don't know if it smells bad. But
Okay, so that's definitely in the fridge of like guys in their early 20s for
don't
sure.
mix the rice. Yeah, we got a big yard. If you want to check that out. This is what we got a lot of crap for, I guess.
There's the hot tub. There's the legendary hot tub that Michael Kesselring said was disgusting, and I'm not sure why. It looks all right there.
It's actually broken right now too.
It's broken.
Beep it if you want to block that out.
Let me turn that off.
We got a lot of lawn here too. I mean, self-proclaimed one of the best lawns in the neighborhood.
I think so.
I don't know what to make of the fact that they called it the self-proclaimed best lawn in the neighborhood, and there's just that huge brown patch right there.
For the invite.
There's work to be done. You can keep going, guys. It is green. I'll give them that. It's very green, other than that patch. Okay, this is hysterical.
Guest rooms over here.
I saw something very funny.
Don't get as much use.
They're looking at Jack McBain's room right now, who Jack couldn't be bothered to turn on the light in his room. He's giving a tour of his room in the dark.
Look at these drapes too. They look like
That's the light. Hit the light, Jack. Turn on the light.
Custom. They actually are custom.
They're just standing in the dark in his room. That's so funny.
The TV on the tub's good.
Okay, then they're showing Jack's bathroom. He's got a television set up leaning against the counter right next to his bathtub. Don't worry, though. Don't worry. There's a little towel set underneath the TV to keep the electronics from getting, zippity zappity. He says he rarely uses it. Yeah, right. It's so funny because I would do that same thing if I had a bathtub like that and a lot of disposable income. I would set up a television right next to that as well, and I would have the Xbox there. I might even record it. I might even be doing podcasts from the bathtub if I had something like that. There's their workout area. Dylan apparently lives down here in the basement. They got a nice little elliptical there. Again, I appreciate the frugality these guys have. They just refuse to turn on the lights to show off the house. They're very sensitive to the utility bill. I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, they did not go into Dylan Guenther's room. Who knows why? I think they were afraid that they'd have to turn on the lights for that.
That's a wrap now.
All right, thanks guys.
Well, that was very charming. You know what I think these guys need? They need like a dog. They need like some kind of like animal. If Archie had been there, if Archie was there living with them, you guys can see, look at my YouTube recommendations there. You guys, truly funny. Those guys are cool. I really love and appreciate the effort the Utah Hockey Club has had to show off the personalities of the guys who play for our team here in our first year following the NHL, the Utah Hockey Club here in Utah. Losses like tonight's definitely sting. But hey, we get back to it. We'll go if you need some cheering up. Go watch Elf or go watch this video of the Utah Hockey Club touring Jack McBain and Dylan Guenther's house. That's what I recommend. And you can also like, comment, subscribe to SLC Puck. Go to slcpuck.shop for merch. Call the hotline with your hot takes, your chirps, your props, all that good stuff. There were a couple funny chirps in there. I'll say that. There were a couple funny, couple zingers in there. And you know who you are. And big props to you for that. That was pretty funny. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Remember, we play Dallas. Utah plays Dallas tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's get these guys. Let's go. And we'll talk to you soon.